Scott missed his dad more than words could say. It had been 6 months since Officer Keith Oy sacrificed his life in the line of duty, but there wasn't a single day that went by where Scott was not thinking about him, from his warm smile down to the sound of his hearty laugh. His absence just left a hole in Scott's heart that he thought he would never be able to fill. Scott missed his dad more than words could ever say. It had been 6 months since Officer Keith Oy gave his life in the line of duty, but not one day passed without his son Scott thinking of him. The brightness of his smile, the mirth in his laughter. His absence left a hollow feeling in Scott's heart that was seemingly insurmountable. She moved them to California after Keith's tragic death, hoping a fresh start would help heal the wounds left by their loss. Yet even in this new place, the ache of his father's absence remained constant. Why did Scott's heart always skip a beat whenever he saw a police officer? It was one of those days it happened again as he wandered the mall in search of a birthday present for his mom. This year was going to be especially tough, Lori's first birthday without Keith. Determined to make it memorable, Scott dipped into his savings in search of a gift his dad might have chosen. His eyes landed on a dainty bracelet that shimmered under the store lights. It would cost him every last cent, but if it brought a smile to his mom's face, it would be worth it. As Scott entered the mall, he noticed a police car parked near the side entrance. 2 officers sat inside it, their faces weary under the hot sun. A familiar tug went through his chest and he smiled and nodded to them. "Hey, are you guys on a stakeout?" he asked, attempting to sound casual. The older officer let out a chuckle. "Not quite, kid. We're keeping an eye out for someone who's been causing trouble around here, but now we're stuck." "Yeah," the younger cop jumped in. "Our relief got called to a hit-and-run downtown, so no lunch for us." "That's rough," Scott said sympathetically. He waved goodbye and stepped into the cool air of the mall, their words ringing in his mind. Hungry and stuck in this heat. An idea came to him. He thought about how his dad was sweet, so he headed toward the pizza counter. Scott ordered a large double pepperoni pizza and 2 ice-cold sodas, using more of his savings than he had planned. With the items delicately balanced in his arms, he walked back toward the patrol car. "Hey, you didn't have to do this," the older officer said, looking surprised as Scott handed over the pizza. Scott shrugged, his face going a brilliant scarlet. "It's no big deal," he repeated. "My dad was a cop. I guess I just wanted to do something nice for his brothers on the force." The younger officer cocked an eyebrow. "Where's your dad now?" Scott's smile faltered. He pressed his lips together before saying softly, "He passed away 6 months ago. We used to live in Portland, but my mom wanted to start fresh. I miss him every day." The older officer's expression softened. "I know about your dad. He died in the line of duty, right?" Scott nodded, his voice low. "Yeah, they called him a hero and gave us a medal, but I still miss him. Honestly, I'd give it all back just to have him here. I need a dad more than a hero." The younger officer's face softened. "I hear you, kid. What's your name?" "Scott," he replied. "Scott Connor. I was supposed to be shopping for my mom's birthday tomorrow. She doesn't even want to celebrate, no cake or anything. She's just really sad." "You hang in there, Scott," the older officer said gently. "It gets better, even if it takes time." Scott shrugged slightly. "I hope so. Mom thought California would help, but it just feels lonely." He paused, then waved. "Anyway, see you around." He turned and headed back into the mall. After buying the pizza, there wasn't enough money left for the bracelet, so he picked out a card he thought his mom would like and headed home, never imagining he'd cross paths with the officers again. The next afternoon, Scott returned from school to a surprising sight: 2 police cars parked outside his house. His heart sank as he imagined the worst. He burst through the front door, shouting, "Mom!" Lori burst from the kitchen, her face red, a mixture of shock and delight on her features. A colorful happy birthday streamer stretched out above the living room, and the scent of homemade food filled the air. "Mom?" Scott wondered. "What's going on?" Before Lori could respond, the elder officer from the mall came in, holding an exquisite birthday cake in his hands. "Hello, Scott," he said with a wide smile. "Right on time." Scott stood in the doorway, speechless, while 3 other officers bustled around his kitchen, chopping vegetables and stirring pots like they worked in the culinary arts. What is this?" he stuttered. The older officer burst out laughing. "We heard a fellow officer's family was moving in town, so we decided to accord you a proper welcome." Scott's eyes then landed on a pile of wrapped gifts placed neatly on the sofa. "Wait, are those for us?" Lori, eyes shining, nodded with a grin. "Somehow they found out it's my birthday. Ain't that the sweetest thing? They even brought presents." The officer winked at Scott. "Protect and serve, ma'am. It's what we do." What began as a solemn day developed into a night of unexpected delight. The police officers prepared a tasty meal, sang a rousing happy birthday to Lori, and even cleaned up the kitchen afterward. But just as they were about to leave, one of them handed Scott and Lori an invitation to the upcoming police picnic, encasing the moment in its warmth. "Scott," Lori whispered as she enveloped him in her arms, "for the first time, I feel like we're not alone. We're going to be okay." What did you think of this story? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to share them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories. Keep tuned for more awesome content, and I'll catch you all in the next video.